Hello and welcome to this video of Power BI. Power BI is a business analytics service by Microsoft. It aims to provide interactive visualizations and business intelligence with an interface simple enough for an end user to create reports and dashboards. So let's dive into this powerful concept of Power BI. So Power BI has Power BI Desktop and Power BI.com. In this video, we'll focus on Power BI Desktop because its sole is enough to create, or rather I'd say to author, a report or a dashboard. So let's see Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is an authoring tool which is used to create business intelligence models and business intelligence report. There are three stages in Power BI. The first stage being author, where you create a report. The second stage being publish, where you publish the report, and the final stage where consumers consume or see the report. So in this video, our sole focus will be on authoring the report because here you will see how to make a report, how to make visualizations, and how to go about making all the things we need in Power BI. So in Power BI Author, there are three things. Query Editor, which is called Kitchen of Power BI. Here you edit all the data and everything. Modeling. Here you model all the different tables or you make relationships between tables. And final being visualization. So I have seen mostly people focus on visualization. But I want to tell you guys that these first two things, query editor and modeling, is the major thing which you need to learn in Power BI. If you master these two things, it will be very easy to create visualizations. So in this video, I'll show you how to use query editor and I'll show you how to model to create beautiful visualizations for a report or dashboard. So let's jump into Power BI desktop and see how it goes. So this is how Power BI desktop looks. If you don't have Power BI desktop, you can simply go to Microsoft Store and download it, or you can simply just Google how to download Power BI desktop, or you can just write Power BI desktop and it will show you how to download it. It's pretty easy. Okay, so this is Power BI desktop. So the first time I opened Power BI desktop, it looked very scary to me. You know, this white screen, and I didn't know what to do, and I had to make a report for a company. So I was rather scared. But now I am very comfortable with using Power BI desktop, and I'll show you how you will get comfortable with Power BI desktop, and it's pretty easy. So Power BI desktop is an engine, and what an engine needs, it needs fuel. So what is the fuel for Power BI desktop? Yes, you guessed it right. It's data. So let me show you how to get data. So it's, as you can see, this is an interface. This is filters. I'll show you. These are filters. I'll show you how to use them. These are visualizations. I'll show you how to use them as well. So, oh, oops. So it's kind of slow in my laptop. So yeah, it's different types of visualizations, and finally it's field. So I'll show you how to use all of them. As you can see right now, field is empty. Okay. So we'll click on get data because it needs its fuel, and I'll show you how many data types it can take. Okay, we need Excel for this demo, but to show the awesomeness of Power BI, to show how very it is, to show how different type of data it can take, I am showing you what kind of different kind of data Power BI takes. Okay, so as you can see, it can take Excel files, JSON files, SQL, IBM, SAP, Microsoft Azure, dataset. So you can see there are many type of files. Almost all type of file it can accept and connect. Okay. So right now our work is with Excel file. So we'll use Excel. So I'll connect to some database and I'll show you how it happens. So go desktop and data. I'll take AdventureWorks database. Alright. So as you can see, it is connecting to the database right now. So it is connecting to the AdventureWorks database. Alright. So it will take some time and it will connect. So here you can see different type of tables and sheets. So I'll show you. So there are different type of tables, and by the way, don't get confused here. There are four types of sheets and four types of tables. So Power BI sometimes what it does is it shows the tables on the sheets differently. Okay, so wait, it's opening, it's evaluating. So as you can see, it is our table, date, data key, and I'll show you this sheet will also look pretty similar because this is a sheet and on this sheet this is a table. Okay, so both of them are same. Okay, and as you can see from the icon, it is quite visible that this sheet, and also it is written sheet here, and it is the table names are written mentioned here. So as you can see, this sheet is pretty similar. It's similar to that table. So we won't select table. We won't select sheet. We'll select tables here. Okay, because tables have well-defined boundary. So we'll go with tables. Okay. So here are the options of load, transform data, and we'll use transform data later. But right now, let's just load it to our Power BI. So now it's connecting to the database. Right now, as you can see, it's evaluating and it's connecting. Alright, so we have loaded the data and you'll feel that okay, this screen is empty. So where is the data? Okay, so this is because this is a report tab. We'll now go to data tab and see our data. Okay, so we are on data tab now. So our table is loading, and also as you can see on here fields, you can see your tables. So there's a calendar table, there's customer table, there's product table, there's sales table, and there's territory table. So our data is ready. So as you can see, this is in the form of table, and there are different types of tables. I'll show you. It's working a bit slow right now. So this is a sales table. Okay. So now you're pretty familiar with the three tabs, the two tabs. First one is report tab and this is the data tab. Alright, so you now know that data tab contains all our tables. So what is this third tab? This is the model tab. So I'll give you just quick overview of the model tab and then we'll move on. So what do you think will be in the model tab? Okay, so the model tab contains the actual modeling. It contains the actual relationship between the tables. So here as you can see, the tables are connected to each other by some things. So if you just click, you'll get it, the relationship. So the product key is connected to the product key to table, and we'll get back to the model tab later when we'll do the actual modeling here. All right, so let's just go back to our data tab. Okay, I'll show you something quick and good here. Okay, let's just first save our file. Okay, in the same tab. So desktop data, yeah. So name is power. So BI save, and it's saving. And let's just go to that file. Let it save, and then let's just go to that file. Okay, so we are on this file, and the one thing which I wanted to show you is we loaded this table, right? So see the size, it has 5854 KB, and our Power BI table at our Power BI has only 1968 KB. So this shows the awesomeness of Power BI. It's pretty awesome. As you know, the Excel is already in a compressed form, and we loaded the same data in our Power BI, and you can see our data gets more compressed. So now you might have an idea of the awesomeness of Power BI. Alright, so we got a pretty clean data, but in the real world scenario, we all know that we don't get the pretty clean data that we got here. Okay, there are some things which are not which machine does not understand. So that's messy data, and we need to clean the messy data. Okay, so I'll show you our budget data, and you'll get some understanding of what I'm. So this is our budget data. All right, so this is understandable to humans. So this is human understanding data, not a machine understanding data. I'll show you how. The machine does not understand these two row headers. Okay, machine does not understand this. It does not need this grand total column. As you know, we can use the sum query and add all the columns. It does not need subtotal accessories, subtotal bikes. So we need to clean this data. Okay, not every time we'll get a clean data. The most of the time in modeling and making queries, you need to clean data first to go ahead. So let's see how we can clean this data. So let's go back to our Power BI. Alright, and let's load. We'll load directly Excel here because now we want to know that we want to work with Excel. Okay, so we'll load the budget data. So it's connecting now. It will start connecting. Okay, so here is our budget table, and instead of loading this time, we'll go to transform data. And now entered the magical realm of Power BI Query Editor. So this is one of the most important thing in Power BI. Okay, so this is the kitchen of Power BI. You have all the tools here that you need to transform data. You have transform, you have column. So I'll leave it up to you to explore this. But this is what we need. This is all we need to clean our data, as I'll say. Okay, so let's start cleaning our data. Okay, so here are some applied steps which Power BI itself does it, but we don't need these steps. So just remove these steps. Oh, all right. So this is our report here. Okay, so what do we need? We need to first remove these header rows. Okay, because these header rows we understand, but Power BI does not understand what is this header row. So how can I remove the header rows? Okay, so let's see if there is a button for removing header rows. So can you see something here? So here is remove. कहाँ गया वो? So here is remove rows, and we'll check remove top rows, and now it will ask us how many rows we want to remove. All right, so it's right now it's loading. And okay, so how many rows we want to remove here? We want to remove 1, 2 and 3 rows that are our header rows. So we'll type 3 and we'll type okay, and now you'll see the magically the rows disappear. So this is the power of Power BI. It does it automate things for us. Okay, so we wanted the header rows to be removed, and it removed the header rows. And you know your steps are being recorded here. Okay, so removed rows and it's written remove top rows. So this is actually good. You are recording what you are doing. So if you will come after 6 months and you wanted to see, okay, how did I transform this data, or you wanted to see someone else doing the transformation of data, so you'll now know how you do it because these steps are recorded. All right, so it's pretty cool here. So now we'll remove these total columns. Okay, this subtotal, this grand total. Now we'll remove all the columns. Okay, so we want to remove the subtotal column, subtotal bikes and subtotal clothing. Okay, so we'll go here and we'll see the text filters, and we'll go to does not contain. Okay, so it's opening. Okay, as you can see, does not contain. We'll write here total. Just make sure you write it's case sensitive, so you write the total correctly. So T is capital here. Okay, and these are conditions if you want to remove anything else, and an or. Okay, so we'll now just pay attention and see what happens. Okay, both on the applied steps and both here you will see now. So done. Our total rows removed. So you know how pretty simple and pretty easy it was. We just removed the first 3 rows and then we just removed the top total column, and we recorded the step here. So we are actually recording what we are doing and we are transforming data as well as. So isn't it pretty cool? Okay, now I want these our first row to be our column headers, okay, because I don't want them to name it by column 1, column 2, column 3 or column 4. So what if I have a button to do that? Directly name our first row as column headers. So we'll see here. So we have a button. So we'll select this and you'll see that now our first row becomes the column header. So it's pretty cool, right? So I think we have almost transformed our data and we want to remove this grand total as far as we can calculate this grand total. All right. So we'll just right click on it and just click on remove. So our column has been removed. Right. So we have cleaned our data, but still this data looks a little bit clumsy, right? I mean, it's easy to, see for human beings, like there is a date and then there is all the budget, how much you spent and everything. But this looks clumsy to machine. So how can we improve this? How can we, make it machine friendly? So I'll show you how we can do this. So we'll select all the rows here till December 31st. I think I something mistake. So wait, select it till Jan and then I'll go to transform and then here is something called unpivot column and then now just wait and see the magic. Okay, boom, are all the columns are now in rows. So now it's machine friendly. Okay, so now it doesn't look clumsy, it looks all right to me and I think it will look all right to you. So we have cleaned our data pretty much and as you can see our data looks much better now than it used to be. I'll just change the column name here and I'll rename it to month and this one I'll rename it to uh, budget amount. Okay, in the final step I'll just change the data type to date time here. I don't think so date time, I think it should be date. Let's see, is current. Let's see how it is. Alright, it looks pretty good to me now. So our budget amount is also good. So now I think we have our data and now we'll just close and apply. Alright, so this is our budget amount table in our data view. So now you can see we have transformed our data and it looks pretty good to me. Alright, so this is the power of Power BI query editor. So it's very easy to use, it's very handy to use, it can transform your data becomes machine friendly more than human friendly. So now you have completed your first part in Power BI. You have learned how to use Power BI query editor. and next we'll move to Power BI models. Okay, so Power BI query editor, as I in the beginning I told you that if you spend 80% of your time in Power BI query editor and Power BI model, you know the visualization will come very handy and very easy to you. So let's go and see a Power BI model now. So our Power BI models are pretty messed up right now, so I'll just come back and so we're back with our Power BI tutorial. Okay, so I have arranged my tables in a particular way. Okay, and you must be confused that it had some relationships earlier. Now it has nothing, no relationship. So I've deleted the relationships. It's very easy. You just I'll show you how to delete the relationship later. Okay, so right now I've arranged a table in particular way. Okay, so the secret to Power BI is not the final report, it's models you make. Okay, so since we have done our first part of the Power BI tutorial, that's Power BI query editor, we now come to modeling. Modeling is very important, guys. Modeling is very important for making reports. Okay, so you guys must be confused as how have I arranged these tables. Okay, so these first four tables are lookup tables, and these two tables are data tables. So what are data tables, what are lookup tables? It might be confusing to you, and I'll tell you how. Okay, so data tables contains millions and millions of rows. Okay, so I've intentionally make them big here so that you know this data table. So like this is sales table. Okay, it contains data about sales, sales amount, sales order, sales line, sales territory, ship date, and this is budget. So it contains data about the budget. So this is data table that contains data about certain things. Okay, so these four tables are lookup tables. I've intentionally made them small. So what are lookup tables? Lookup tables are our who, what, where, when, and how. Okay, so sales, who purchased, customer, what product. Okay, where, territory, when and how, calendar. Okay, so this is lookup table. I'll not go into much detail in data table and lookup table. You can surely go and Google it, but I think I've made it pretty clear what is data table and what is lookup table. So let's form relationships now. So we'll take the product key of sales and we'll the relationship product key here. So just wait a second. It's forming the relationship. Cool. So now you can see a relationship here. If you click on it, you will get the product key relationship. Okay. So actually, this is one-to-many relationship. As you can see, one here, and this star leads many. So one-to-many relationship is quite technical term. So one-to-many means that product key can appear once here, but product key can appear multiple times in sales here. Okay. And the direction of this arrow actually it doesn't matter if you do it right. So next we make the relationship from sales customer key to this customer key. All right, so now we'll take this sales territory key to this sales territory key, and finally we'll link this order date to the date in calendar. And as for budget, we'll link the product key to again, wait, I can there's some problem. All right, product key to again product key, and then we'll and finally we'll link the month to the date in the calendar. All right, we are done with the relationships. So as you can see, these are one-to-many relationships, and I have explained you what are one-to-many relationships, and you can see all the arrows are facing towards the data key. All right, so now we'll come to our report tab and see the magic of our models. All right, so we are here and we can see this tab of visualizations. All right, so we'll select a table here. So we'll select a table. All right, so this is empty table right now, and I'll just filter column here, and you can see these three things. These are values, this is our format, and this is our analytics. So we'll use them. So in values, we put the values here. Okay, so we'll put the values of sales amount. So we go to sales, and we take the sales amount here. Just click on this. This will be added on the values. Alright, so it's adding right now. Okay. Okay, so as you can see a sales amount here and it's some values, but it's pretty small, right? So we'll increase the text size right now. So we'll go here and we'll write size, and we will just increase the size because the visibility here is less and it's kind of slow. So we'll just increase the text size here. We'll just now just see what happens when we increase the text size. This size will increase. Okay, so I'll just gradually increase the text size here. Alright, I think 14 is enough, or I'll rather say 15. 15 will look good on this. Okay, so I think it will automatically happen. Let's go. Okay, 15 works. Okay, so right now we have just added our sales amount. So now I'm going to show you the power of modeling. So you'll go to calendar. I told you the calendar is one of the most powerful lookup table, and we'll just add what should we add right here? Okay, well, let's add year first. So we'll just add year here, and now you'll see how it does slice and dicing. Okay, so we just added year here, and see the match. All right, so sometimes what Power BI does is it summarizes things for us. Okay, so we'll just click on the year and we'll select do not summarize. Okay, so we'll select don't summarize. Okay, so what Power BI does, it automatically thinks what's good for us, and there are many functions and it does sum here, so we don't need the sum. And now watch, now see. All right, cool. So now you can see our sales amount year wise. So this is very cool. Okay, you can slice and dice your values. You can put year here, you can put month here, and you can just see how the table works. So uh, let's do the same table with budget amount. So what we'll do is we'll just click on this table, we'll just copy this table, and we'll just paste this table here. Alright, so we got another table after copying, so we'll just place it here, and I'll just delete the sales amount here, and let's go for budget amount. Okay, so see let's add budget amount and let's see budget amount. Alright, so we'll add budget amount here and let's see what happens. Alright, so for budget we only have 2016. Okay, so our budget amount is only of 2016. Okay, so let's do one thing, let's make a filter and let's take the values of 2016 only. Okay, so we'll open the filter and so we'll add first year to this filter on this page. So there are two things, filter on this page and filter on all pages. So right now you have only one page, so you'll write filter on this page. If you want to filter one page, you will select this filter on page, and if you want to filter all the pages you have in your Power BI, you will select filter on all pages. Okay, so right now we'll change this advanced filtering to basic filtering, and then since in budget amount we only have 2016, I think we'll select 2016 only. So now you'll see how it filters. So as you can see, both the tables, they are filtering right now. Perfect. So now you can see that both have 2016 only. So I have showed you how fields work. I have showed you how filters work. Let's slice and dice it more. Let's add. Okay, guys, what do you want to add to this? What can we add to this? So we have here. Let's try and add month here. So maybe we'll have month wise. So we'll drag the month, and my Excel is bits, my Power BI is bit slow, I'm sorry. So we'll add month in between, and now you'll see how it works. Cool, awesome. So now you see that in 2016 it is divided by months. So I think you must have understood how powerful this Power BI is. So you have this data, okay? You have these tables. So you can slice and dice, you can see data anyhow you want to. So the sales is a data table, and from this calendar you're using the lookup tables to see in which month how many sales a person did, okay? So this is all because of these models, okay? So I told you that the importance of models and Power BI query editor, okay? So if you model your correctly, if you model your everything correctly, then making visualizations and making tables will be very easy for you. It will be very easy for you, as I have showed. But make sure you remember that you can only slice and dice sales with the tables, lookup tables you have connected it with, and the budget with only lookup tables you have connected it with, that is calendar and product, okay? So I think you must have you must have good understanding now how to make tables and how to slice and dice it. And I'll show you one more thing. I'll show you. Let's do one more thing. Let's see sales by territory. Okay. So let's remove this year and let's remove this month and let's see by territory. So scroll it down and we'll go to territories. And where is it? Let's see region. Okay, so let's drag the region, and I think it got stuck. Sorry guys, sorry for the delay. Now you can see sales amount by region. So I think you must have understood the power of Power BI right now. You must have understood the power of modeling, and I think now you'll be comfortable in making your own tables, because most of the times we place some tables in reports, to see how many sales it has done, because it's pretty easy to read, as you can see. It's very easy to read. So now you know in which region how much sales you did. You can know how which rep did sales. So you can use the sales, this you can see this data by the four lookup tables you connected it with. So that's why I was emphasizing on the fact that you should model your models correctly. You should focus on modeling your tables correctly. So I think we have completed the second part, modeling here, and now we'll move on to DAX. DAX is data analytics expressions, and this is the third part for our Power BI tutorial, and you will see how important DAX is. So we are back with DAX. DAX is data analytics expression, and it is Power BI formal language, and it's incredibly powerful. You might have already performed DAX, as in sales amount. I'll show you in sales amount. Power BI selected sum for us because Power BI thinks it's best to do sum in this table. Okay, you can take average, you can take minimum, you can take maximum, you can even take don't summarize. So this is a DAX measure, but this is implicit measure. Okay, there are two types of measures: implicit measure and explicit measure. Implicit measure are this that we perform through selecting this, and explicit measure is what we write. I'll show you how to write an explicit measure. So you go to modeling, you select rewrite explicit measure in sales, so we'll select sales. Okay, we'll go to modeling, we'll take new measure, and okay, so as you can see here we have measure, so we'll remove this. We'll write sales equals to sum of sales amount. So here is sales amount. We'll select enter, and now you will see something here. Okay, so if I press enter, it's just look at it. All right, so now you see this sales, okay, and you see this symbol. This symbol is for explicit measure. Okay, so what is this? Okay, if I add this to my table, just pay attention and you will see something. All right. Now you must be thinking that this is equal to this, okay? Because this is a measure which is implicit measure, and this measure we wrote was explicit measure. So why should one use explicit measure? It is because they give us control, they are easy to reuse, and they have impact on connected report. Alright, now I'll explain you more on explicit measures and new column. Okay, so we go on our sales table and we see this sales amount and tax amount, and we want to add this and put it in one column. Okay, so let's first use our new column method. Okay, we select new column. Okay, and uh, here we write total sales amount equals to sales amount plus tax amount. Alright, and we'll just click enter here. And now you will see we'll have another column which will add these two, and it will be total sales amount. Alright, cool. So we had a new column in which we added these two. So this is not an explicit measure, this is new column measure. Okay, I showed you how to use new column, but we can also do this using explicit measure. Okay, so now you know how to use new column measure. We'll write some new measures in this. So write new measure in budget column, in budget table, sorry. And so our first one will be budget. We'll make this using explicit measure. Budget oops, equal to sum. We'll write budget amount. Cool. So now you'll see a budget here as an explicit measure, which will be equal to budget amount because we just made budget amount. Okay, next we'll calculate variance. So we'll go to modeling, we'll take new measure, and here we'll calculate variance. Variance will be equal to, but before adding variance, let's just add budget to our table. The budget we added because variance is budget minus sales. We'll add budget here first. And let's go to our variance measure and complete it. So variance is I think budget minus sales. No, sales minus budget. So variance is sales minus budget. Yes. Cool. I think there's some error here. Alright, I think we need to specify the sales. Now I think it will work. Alright, it's working now. So we'll add variance to our table as well. So let's see variance. We got our variance, and now let's finally calculate variance percentage. Let's take a new measure. Let's calculate variance percentage. I'm using the divide function here. It's not compulsory for you to use divide function. You can also just divide simply. Variance budget. Yes. All right. So I think we have now calculated various percentage as well. So yeah, it is here. So we'll add this to our table. So we'll just add this to our table. And it's now added to our table. So let's see. Cool, cool, cool. So now I have taught you how to use explicit measure. We have created budget, we have created sales, we have created variance, we have created variance percentage. So now I think we're pretty much clear with what is DAX measure and how to use Power BI query editor. So now I think we can finally move to our visualization. Right guys, so now I have taught you how to use query editor. We have modeled our model, and now let's come finally to visualizations. Okay, so we have covered the hard part here. We know how to use explicit measures, we know what are implicit measures, we know how to use query editor, we know how to model our data. So now let's come to visualization. It will be pretty easy. You can just follow my steps and we'll make a report here. Alright guys, so now we come to our final part, that is visualization. I know most of you must be watching this video for the visualization part only, but let me tell you, the first two parts were equally important, and if you have clarity in the first two parts, the visualization will come very easy to you. Okay, so now we'll make a report. Okay, so first let's go to text box and first insert the text box, and first it writes report here. uh, let's increase the report size. So no, maybe I have to increase it more. So I think increase it like this. So perfect. Cool, cool, cool. So all right, let's change the font as well. Times New Roman. Cool. So let's we have written report here. Now let's add our card elements. So let's add one card element. In this, let's add sales first. So we'll add sales first. We'll take our explicit measure that we just wrote. So we'll add sales first. So this is the sales. If you want to increase the font, you can, but I think this is perfect. So we'll just sales, and we'll copy this and we'll paste this 3 times. All right. All right. So in the second part, let's add budget. So let's add the budget here. All right. In the third part, let's add the variance. And in final part, let's add the various percentage. Cool. So let's now just place them in line. Perfect, perfect. So now let's take a rectangle element. Okay, let's take a rectangle element from shapes. Okay. Let's increase its size. and let's go to line, put it weight to 0. Alright, and let's now go to fill color, and let's fill a very transparent color here, very light color I'll keep here. So is there any color more light than this? Let's see. I think this is the lightest one. Let's make the transparency to 60%. 60 is, I think 40 will suffice, or 30. Alright, 30 is cool. Alright. So we'll just place it here. I think we'll have to increase the transparency here. Yes, we have to. Let's try 60 again. 70. Cool, 70 looks good. Yeah, perfect. So let's now go to bar chart. So okay, let's take bar chart. In values, let's add sales and budget. So we'll add sales first, and then we'll add budget. Oops, we are adding, I think it's, we have to add budget here. So alright, now you can see sales and budget here. Now we have to add something to access as well. In access, let's add category. Alright, now you can see bikes, cars, clothing, it's sales and budget here. And let's also add subcategory here. So you must be thinking that, there's nothing changed in adding subcategory, but I'll show you what changed. Okay, so if you just right click on this and you just wait, go to drill down, and then you can see more details in bikes. It's going, wait, yeah, as you can see, mountain bikes, road bikes, touring bikes. So if just because you have added subcategory here, you can also see the subcategories after drilling down. Okay, let's go to drill up and take the call back. Let's change the sort order also. So we can change the sort order by click on this and sort by, let's sort by category here, and let's sort ascending. Cool. So let's now copy this graph, bar chart, sorry, and let's paste, and sorry for the slow Power BI here. Alright, so we'll just put it here. Okay, so let's add variance here in the value. So let's remove the values and let's add variance here. Alright, let's change its color to conditional formatting. So we'll go to format, we'll go to data colors and just click on this FX, and you can change the value of lowest to maybe light pink, nice to maybe blue. Cool. So now you can see here the colors will change. Alright, so as the value increases, it becomes blue. You can also drill down here and see. Alright, so it's pretty cool, right? So you can change the color, and according to the variance the color is changing. So it's pretty cool stuff in Power BI. Alright, let's copy this graph. copy and let's paste it. Okay, let's take it down. I think there is no space. I'll have to move this up. I'll have to make it a little small here, I think. Alright, I'll have to make this one as small as well. Alright, let's change this to line chart. Okay, and in the axis, let's put category. It's already okay. Instead of category and subcategory, let's put month here. Okay, so let's go to calendar. Let's select the month here. Cool, we have created a line chart as well here. Alright, let's copy this graph as well. So let's go to home, copy and paste. And let's make this a column chart. Wait. So make it a column chart. And let's change the value to the variance. Right, where's the variance? Variance is in the budget. So let's put variance here. Alright, so I think I've showed you some types of charts and some types of visuals. So I think our report looks pretty good here, but let's add few things as well. So let's take this here, take its size a little small. Let's take this here as well. Alright, let's add two tables here also. Right, so let's add table here. Oh, I changed it to table. Okay, it's custom. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's add a new table here. Right, so the new table, let's add product name as a value. And let's add sales as well. So to see how much sales of a particular product it did. Cool. If you want to change its size, the size of this, you can just search size here. And you can change the text size, okay? So it's applying. Let's do it to 14. I think 14 is good. I think 14 works. Okay, so you can just scroll it down and see. Alright, let's create one more table here. And let's add customer. So let's add customer instead of product here. So we'll go to customer's first name. Let so we'll add a first name. Oops. Oh, wait, guys. So we'll add just first name here. Thanks for being patient. And let's add the sales as well. Sales is here. our explicit measure which we draw. Sorry, which we made. Oops. What is this permission key? Don't need this permission key. We need sales. Why is it hanging so much? Alright guys, we have added first name and sales. So let's just finally increase the text size to 14. So that these both look similar at least. Oh, text size is already 14. How is it possible? For this table, you guys chose the wrong table. So its text size is 10. Let's increase it to 14. Cool, I think our report is complete and it looks pretty good to me. Okay, so you don't have to follow all the steps which I did. You just have to, play with it, learn on your own, and it's pretty simple if you learn the first two parts. Making visuals is very simple in Power BI. It does your half of your work. It does it on your own. So you don't need to write anything. You just need to select the visual. You just need to understand the models, and creating visuals will be very easy. This report looks pretty good to me here. Alright guys, so I showed you how to use query editor, I showed you how to model, and finally I showed how to use the visualization in Power BI Author. So we have completed this series on Power BI Author, how to use Power BI Desktop, and you can just go and publish it using on powerbi.com if you want to publish your report and people can consume it. So that's it from my side guys. Thank you so much for being so much patient. I hope you understood Power BI. Thank you so much.